Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Yalak, and we have War Factory loaded up and ready to go. But before we dig into that at all, let's get off this troop comp, because I've been having the kind of week where I would try to attack something with that. And I'm not kidding. So yeah, load up something, see what we've got, adjust from there. Alright, well, 1, 1, 1, those are all ones. I mean, if you're a Grenmed kind of person, you can just go to town on this from the right side. Let's see, shields, just the 4, and those look like they are 2s. So 105-ish, 105k, something like that on those. However, they are touching, so there is always the option, since they all meet at this one spot right here, there's always the option of barding them. You'd pretty much just use up a full attack of GBE, and then you could go for core rushes. Alright, and since that is an option, what's the health on this? So obviously without the shield, because we don't want that, and the health, so 478, like 520-ish. Okay. Alright, so I have an idea. It might require 2 setup attacks, but what the heck. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna load up Grenmed. Grenmed. Grank. TGM, whatever you want to call it. A couple tanks, and some grunts. Tanks do require GBE, but 2 boats shouldn't require a lot, so that should be doable. I don't know with the lasers and the grens though. Hang on. Yeah, definitely have to plan this out a little bit more. I know how I want to finish. I need to figure out how I want to start. First of all, I mean, we have to bart the shields down one way or another. You know what? But I also have bullet loaded for this. So what I'm thinking is, I have to bart those down. At the end of the attack, there might be a little bit of GBE left, and I can possibly drop some troops over here and get up extra GBE for some, you know, maybe finish these guys off in one attack. It might take 2, but then I was also thinking I could use Sparky for... that should be interesting later. Anyway, the heck was I saying? God almighty. Anyway, so yeah, extra GBE over here to possibly generate the GBE that we would need to finish these off in one attack, but then possibly take Sparky and try to cut down on the number of shocks we'd have to use. I'm thinking of a core finished with warriors, so probably a critter out there or something. You know, these cannons are not a huge concern, but the problem is that, like, if I just throw critters on them, but behind the cannons there are lasers and such things like that. Critter, definitely a shock. So maybe we could like hack these rockets, or maybe some of these machine guns or something, just to, you know, reduce the heat on warriors as we go. I think we'll just go like this and do something, more or less. say? It's like roughly 105. I mean, you know what? Actually, getting bullet out there might be just the ticket. So those guys should help speed things up, but now everything is looking at bullet, the things that can see over there. So hopefully this will allow us to get some of this GBE here. Might as well save up for. Fairly soon though, this probably will start costing us some troops. When the lasers start firing through bullet and getting back to the Grens, the rockets have focused on the Grens, so a little bit more though, a couple more. Press retreat. Alright, I'm just going to get out of there because Grens are expensive and it's really not wise just to keep, you know, running them out that way. Thoughts. Hang on. What are we looking at right here? This is an interesting layout actually. It offers a lot of choice and I like that. That you know, whatever you prefer to do, then you can end up doing because, you know. Yeah, I mean, I want a critter over here for the warriors, but then the lasers are just going to eat the critters alive for one thing and then be firing into the warriors. I feel like I'm better off just kind of not doing that at all. Maybe a critter over here and then shock. Actually, shock on these guys, shock on those two together if we can. And then back here, a shock, I think. What's left on these shields? 18. Yeah, so why don't... I'm going to get... Yeah, I'm going to get Sparky and I'm just going to try to hack a couple of those machine guns, which will be fun in and of itself just because we have Doom cannons and blasters in play, so there's quite a bit going on there. And try to finish off those shield generators too. And I'm going to keep some tanks and medics in reserve. Probably just tanks and medics. Honestly, the Grens are just a little too weak around the lasers. But only a few tanks and a lot of medics, I guess, because if we're going to deploy anything at all, then I'd really rather not lose gold on... not that it's important, it's just kind of the principle of the thing. Unnecessarily, like, why just throw your gold down a pit, I guess. So which ones specifically do we want to try for? Like these three maybe up top or something? It's also complicated by the fact that, you know what, maybe just barding would be a better option because they're machine guns. We're already barding. Screw it, why not? And the only reason that I'm saying that is that there's already things damaged here because I have been barding on the shield generators, so you run into the problem, like if you do use Everspark, you don't know anymore what she's going to fixate on, I guess. Now that should be down. That should be down. Alright, so decision time. We need 24 GBE to load those guys. Is there any chance, yeah, there really is actually, that we make this worth our time? Okay. Smooth. I don't know if that's actually worth it per se, but on the other hand, we might end up taking out a couple of these lasers if we were to reflare back this direction. I'm hoping with the 4 boats of medics we can keep everybody alive here and not end up... This is just a very weird war factory. So instead of having to shock these rocket launchers, potentially we'll just tank them out of the way. Alright, I'm gonna shock those guys just because they are eating into the medics, and that's really kind of... we need those. Let's see. So, you're expensive, but we're deeming you worth it. So let's see if we can make this... yeah, so now we don't have to worry about the rockets, because that one's going to be dead, and hopefully that should take out all the lasers in range as well. So, honestly, like, if I manage to screw this up with my warriors, then... yeah, pretty much joke's on me, because we're going to just, like, eat this guy alive here. Which pretty much renders the warriors kind of almost a moot point here, if you follow what I mean. Like, that's just, if it's just the finish on the attack, then... but, again, it's a war factory that kind of leaves you room to strategize or manipulate or whatever you want to call that. So, I mean, I feel like it's fair. It's all in play, right? Whatever you end up wanting to do. Is that what I said? You know, like, what strategies do you like using? So, I don't generally love using tanks, but then again, I don't use 4-4 tank medic, so that's something different. I mean, this is just weird stuff that I never do, you rarely ever see, so I'm kind of okay with it. I'm not even sure we need to be here anymore. Like, the snipers can't take these tanks out. I guess we're just clearing for clearing's sake now. Yeah. Killing machine guns just because. That's a good thing. Any chance we get the GB to finish this guy off? I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah, it should be alright. Getting close to an art. And at this point, they're just further damaging the core. That's about all we're doing. And when my tanks get into the range of those cannons, I'm going to get the heck out of dodge. Yeah, we're good. Actually, we'll flare over to... never mind, we'll just run out of time. That did take a long time, didn't it? Alright. I think we're in position now. That's just, like, ridiculously simplified. So, just to be clear, definitely still a shock on the lasers down here. Now we actually can just critter off in that direction, and that's fine. Same here. So, critter, shock. Honestly, just the one shock. Possibly another one for the blasters so that they don't eat bullet up, but I think we're right. Path. So, gonna try to set up on this crate, and I think maybe to this crate, and then to the HQ. Seems fair. We'll find out. Alright, nope, quicker than that, boys, sorry. Okay. Laser ate up a couple of warriors, but not too bad. But we have no delay on that now, so we're going to go like this, and we're going to get that out a little early, and then the blasters. And Bullet is taunting on the Doom Cannons. Let's get a med kit out. So those Doom Cannons are doing nothing because, you know, it's Bullet. So that's kind of what drew me to that attack angle in the first place. Like, we did lose some warriors over here. That chunk that's eaten out at the corner of the HQ. Go away. I can't. Well, anyway, we're lost to the Doom Cannons, but everybody else is pretty much fine at that point. And what was that, 9 Doom Cannons all staring at Bullet's backside, which is actually a pretty good thing. Anyway, yeah, just that appealed to me. That's kind of why I wanted to do it that way. It kind of doesn't matter what was that, 3 attacks? It kind of doesn't matter what you do. I mean, the shields will BART like you saw in an attack, maybe an attack and a half, and then from there you can just kind of pick what you like. So, I mean, I guess that makes it an easy war factory, but you can pretty much make it as difficult as you want to, depending. That's about what I've got the speed for tonight, so I'm going to leave it at that. Anyway, like, thumbs up, you know, all that stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.